10 Advantages of blood group O positive. O positive is one of the most common blood types in the world. There are several advantages to having this blood type, including an increased likelihood of avoiding certain infections and possessing strong immune systems. Here are 10 of the most significant advantages of blood group O positive individuals. 1. Less likely to develop heart disease. Research has shown that people who have O blood antigens have a much lower incidence of heart disease than people who have other types of antigens. The reason for this may be the presence of a malignancy in the body. 2. Donate their own organs when needed. Because type O is so common, if you need an organ transplant, it is more likely that you will receive one from a donor with type O antigen than from someone who has RB antigen. It is even possible to receive an organ from a stranger with an O antigen. 3. Associated with high levels of HDL cholesterol in the blood. High levels of HDL cholesterol are associated with a lower risk of heart disease. It is thought that this may be due to the presence of a malignancy in the body. High levels of HDL cholesterol have been associated with a lower incidence of heart disease and atherosclerosis. 4. Resistant to some diseases. Type O blood is not susceptible to most types of bacterial invasion and fighting disease. This is one of the reasons why it is called the universal donor. In which O positive some resistant to cancer, heart disease, and stroke. 5. Greater flow rate than other groups. Due to its high levels of aqua, type O blood has a higher flow rate than other groups. That's why people with this antigen are much less likely to get into accidents such as heart attacks, strokes, and even ruptured aneurysms when they have sudden changes in their blood pressure. 6. Lower risk of some cancers. The lower incidence of many diseases means that if you have high blood pressure, type O is a good option for you. Also, it has been shown that type O people are less likely to develop cancer than those with other types of antigens. 7. Less likely to suffer from anemia. High levels of red blood cells mean that your body does not have to work as hard to deal with the lack of oxygen. This makes you less likely to suffer from anemia, which is a problem that many older adults often suffer from. 8. Low risk of having a heart attack. People with type O blood are far more likely to be alive 5 years after they have had a heart attack than those with other types of antigens. This is due to the fact that they have a greater resistance to heart disease and lower rates of developing heart disease than those with other blood groups. 9. Low levels of LDL cholesterol. Low levels of LDL cholesterol are associated with fewer heart problems. This is probably because type O people have a high flow rate for their blood and thus, less work to do in order to carry the necessary amounts of oxygen around their bodies. 10. Secretes more anti-inflammatory proteins. Studies have shown that type O people secrete more anti-inflammatory proteins than other groups, which means that they are less likely to suffer from chronic inflammatory diseases such as heart disease and arthritis.